All right, guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the five biggest storylines for Sunday's game against the New York Giants, starting off with the obvious, and that is rookie quarterback Jackson Dart making his NFL debut. I remember when the Giants drafted Dart, Dayball called him up and let him know, and he said he's banking on him. And Dart's response was something along the lines of smart man or good choice. This rookie has all the swag in the world, and it's up to the Chargers to be able to humble him a little bit and to make his first start a very regrettable one. Now, the thing about the Chargers is they don't exactly have the best pass rush, to say the least, especially without Khalil Mack out. This game also is in New York. Well, technically, it's in New Jersey. They are against the New York Giants, which means that it's a 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. game, which is just insane, like playing football that early and the fans are going to watch it. But that's kind of the reality. So hopefully the Chargers can come ready to play. They're coming off of a big win against the Denver Broncos, 23-20. It was an absolute clutch victory. How do the Chargers respond from that game to taking on the 0-3 lifeless Giants? The crowd is going to be absolutely electric. I mean, this is Dart's first career start. People are going to be there. Charger fans are going to make the trip. So it should be a lot of fun. But that's without question the biggest storyline of this game is rookie Jackson Dart making his NFL starting debut. The second one is going to be the running back split because, obviously at this point we all know that Najee Harris is out for the season with a torn Achilles. But if you look at even after Harris went down against the Broncos, Hassan Haskins only played 7 snaps of offense. That is very, very low. Are the Chargers going to give these guys a split, or are they just going to let Hampton be a bell cow and get the majority of the work? They could also elevate Kamani Vidal from the practice squad. I don't know if they'll do that. I even said coming into the season, I mean, no disrespect to him. I just don't know if that really makes the right amount of sense for the Chargers. Haskins, I knew was a lock because of his special teams play, and Amari Hampton was a first-round pick. I think that's good enough. I mean, you do need 3 running backs, obviously, because if someone else goes down, you can't just have one back. But in terms of just the two of them, I could honestly see the Chargers rocking with them. Even if they do call up Vidal, I don't think he'll actually play. So that's probably the second biggest storyline to keep an eye on is going to be how the Chargers go about with their running back room. And sort of to transition into my next point, which is perfect, it's the offensive line. So I don't take too much away from Wednesday. If you're a full participant, you're good to go. If you don't practice, it's not the end of the world. Bradley Bozeman did not practice yesterday. I'm recording this very, very early on Thursday, so I don't have the current report for today. Mekhi Becton is in concussion protocol, and right tackle Trey Pipkins is dealing with a knee injury. If the three of them don't play, Andre James would start at center. Jamari Sawyer would start at right guard. And then I'd imagine they would go with at right tackle Austin Degalis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's kind of where we're at. Is I don't even know. I'm covering the Chargers every day. Legitimately don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right. If that's the case, I honestly wouldn't be shocked if the Chargers lost, just because you have to understand that the Giants, they're not very good, but one thing they're very good at is up front. I mean, they're going to be sending Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter after Herbert. And I know the Broncos are a far superior team to the Giants, but they did get 15 hits on Herbert, and I want to say 5 sacks. So it's just very difficult for the Chargers to be able to win if they have constant pressure in Herbert's face. The Texans, again, a much better team than the Giants, at least last season. Right now is a debate. But the Chargers couldn't do anything. I mean, Herbert had the worst game of his career, probably the worst game he'll ever play, just because the offensive line was so bad. And that's kind of where we're at against the Giants. Now, the Giants do have a horrible secondary, and I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball down the field. So maybe the Chargers could still win, but I just don't want to find out. Again, it's a Wednesday practice report. I personally don't think, though, that, and I said this even after the injury, Mekhi Becton will play. I mean, he's in concussion protocol. I don't think he'll be ready to go. Now, Trey Pipkins probably does play. Bradley Bozeman probably plays. To that point, we're seriously looking at Jamari Sawyer play, and I don't know how I feel about that exactly. I actually like Sawyer. I think he's a much improved player. I know with the weight and everything, he's lost a lot of pounds. But man, that's just a scary thing to think about against this Giants front. The next thing I want to talk about, we'll kind of stick with the offense here, and that is going to be the tight end position, specifically of rookie Aronde Gadsden. 5 catches for 46 yards in his pro debut, filling in for the injured Will Disley. Is Gadsden going to stay involved, or is he not? That's something that we're keeping a serious eye on because he's got the athleticism. He can get open. He can catch the ball. It's just a matter of do the Chargers scheme up opportunities for him. Now, Will Disley is the best overall tight end in this room, but Gadsden's probably honestly the best receiving tight end because he's not actually a tight end. He's a receiver in a not even in a tight end's body. He's legitimately just a receiver that's listed as a tight end. So if he was a receiver in a tight end's body, he'd absolutely be starting right now. There'd be no question about it, even as a rookie. Yeah, I mean, Gadsden, a fifth round pick, it doesn't matter. We see the talent, it's on the tape. He deserves more opportunity. And clearly, Herbert is comfortable enough with him, considering that, the final drive of the game, he hit him with 2 targets. Disley did not practice yesterday. Again, Wednesday practice report. Even if he plays, though, I do think Gadsden should still probably catch 5 balls for like 46, 50 yards. Just makes too much sense for him not to. And now, let's see. Can we go to the defensive side? Yeah, absolutely we can. So I'm just going to read what the article says and react. So, defensive momentum. The Chargers have been a tight ship defensively, but got away with a few breakdowns in coverage against the Broncos, thanks to some deep misfires by Bo Nix. A big player, too, did sneak through on some miscommunications in the secondary, however, which could only intensify now that Dante Jackson ankle is on the injury report as well. Yeah, that is a really good point. Is if you guys go back and you look at the tape, Bo Nix missed probably 3 or 4 throws that if he hits, it just completely changes the game. I gotta sneeze. I can confirm that the sneeze did happen, but in terms of the Broncos, they did capitalize on that next play to Cortland Sutton, but overall there was a lot of misplays, specifically to Marvin Mims Jr., that if Bo Nix just hits on one of them, the Broncos probably win this game. Not to mention as well, Bo Nix tried to scramble for the first down. It was a yard short. Just one more yard, man. Everyone talks about yards after, it wouldn't be after the catch, but just yards in total. It's really a game of inches, man. It's a game of a yard. Like, if he picks it up, who kind of knows how this game goes? So for the Broncos to not capitalize on that, I mean, that was their biggest mistake because you don't get many opportunities against this Charger defense. And when you do, you've got to connect. So we'll see if Jackson Dart's able to do that because that's been Russ's problem is, well, the Giants are the worst team in football in the red zone. But Russell Wilson, he's good at throwing the ball deep down the field. That's literally all he does. But it just seems like there's a lot of plays this season in the first 3 games where Russ just isn't hitting on those open plays. And for a veteran, I mean, Russ is like 36 years old. It's just kind of crazy to think about. That's why it's a beautiful thing to have Justin Herbert as your quarterback because it doesn't even matter the situation. You know he's going to be able to come through and give you a chance to win, as we saw in that final drive. Not to mention before the field goal by Dicker, Herbert literally had one of the craziest plays you'll ever see with Nick Benito draped all over him, had his left arm up. Herbert throws it around him, an absolute dive. I mean, that was honestly probably the best throw, one of the best throws I've ever seen. There was a play last season in week 1 where Anthony Richardson threw a ball like 80 yards in the air to Alec Pierce, but like in terms of what Herbert did, you just can't really compare the two because I mean, there's been a good amount of quarterbacks who could throw the ball really far, like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. But when you have that type of pressure and you are able to create that arm angle and put the ball to where only your receiver can get it, I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I know a lot of Charger fans were reaching out to me saying, hey, look, I've been watching this team my whole life, and I've never seen anything even close to that. So it just kind of goes to show, Justin Herbert and his greatness. And that's why I made a Chargers channel. I know I've mentioned a bunch of times, but I made a Charger channel. I live in the East Coast. It's because of Justin Herbert, man. I mean, he's definitely my favorite player in the NFL.